As I'm sure you already know, It Ends With Us is the newest Blake Lively film. It's an adaptation on the best-selling Colleen Hoover novel of the same name. And this movie is fully experiencing that Colleen Hoover effect, that Blake Lively effect. I saw this at a Wednesday night screening called Girls Night Out in an almost sold-out theater. And last week there was only one showtime at 7. By today, when I checked AMC, there were 2 additional showings of this film for the Girls Night Out screenings. So this film is the real deal. This might be one of the biggest movies of the summer. And like Blake Lively fully carries that superstar power. I thought that she gave a really solid performance in this film. This film is all about her character, Lily Bloom, dealing with the trauma of her father's death and the mixed emotions that come from that. And while navigating that trauma, she meets a man, Ryle Kincaid. Yes, that is his name. Slowly but surely, the trauma of her father's passing and her past with him and her present with Ryle sort of collide with one another in their parallel similarities. It's a really interesting film in diving into the past repeating itself in the present and how one can avoid that. It deals a lot with themes of domestic abuse, and it is a really powerful film in that regard. I found the direction here to be really competent in that way. I found the cinematography to honestly be really impressive. There were certain moments in this film where there was like this one take out of nowhere that was a really impressive one take, and I was like, this film did not need to do that, but it did. It has some moments of genuine like cinematic greatness. However, that is bogged down by some really iffy dialogue. This film, for its majority, has fine dialogue, but then there's just certain lines in this movie, lines that I wouldn't be surprised are straight out of the book, that just kind of come out of nowhere and fall completely flat. And there are these lines that literally got like a few seconds pause after them to give space for audience reaction or something of that sort. And it came off just so awkwardly. And the actors tried their best to play those lines off as realistically as possible, but that was obviously really hard for them to do because the lines were just weird. This film also seemed to lack faith in its actors, specifically Blake Lively, who goes through a lot of traumatic experiences in this film. And whenever she goes through a traumatic experience, rather than sticking with her character and letting the audience view her act through those traumatic experiences, we get these flashback montages that flashback to scenes that we've already seen in the film, but in this montage format to try to convey what Lily Bloom is feeling in those moments, but it completely takes away from Blake Lively's performance. Something I do have to give this movie credit for is its structure. It's structured where a big chunk of this movie feels a lot like a rom-com, but it slowly starts to weave in these traumatic themes, and by the end of this movie, it's a really emotionally powerful film. Sadly, the trailer completely ruined those moments. The trailer gives away the entire film. I expected a lot of the story beats this trailer showed to happen within the first 30 minutes, but instead I kept waiting and waiting and waiting for those story beats to come up, and they did not come up until middle of the second act, end of the second act, or even the third act. This film kind of needed these moments to sneak up on you to be powerful. But sadly, because its advertising campaign ruined those moments, I was not able to appreciate them nearly as much as I thought I would. So maybe if I never saw the trailer for this film, I would have given it a solid 3.5 stars. But because I did, and because I had those moments ruined for me, this is a 3-star movie to me. And I hate to do that because I feel like there's an integrity on sticking to how the movie is and not basing it off of the marketing campaign. But when the marketing campaign ruins the film in terms of spoilers, what do I do? Just pretend it didn't happen? So if you're mad at that, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And let me know your thoughts on this film in the comments below. I'd love to start a discussion. Did you like it more than me? Did you like it less than me? Please let me know. With that being said, I'll see you all in the next movie review. Take care.